Patient Assistance Fund is very beneficial to our patients because it allows us to provide support to them in ways such as transportation, nutritional supplements, medication assistance.
You know, a lot of folks maybe are insured but underinsured and get a limited number of prescriptions per month. Prescription medicines that they really desperately need but maybe can't afford. So that's really where I see it come into play, is just helping people get these things in their hands to kind of manage day to day.
When a patient is diagnosed with cancer, patients have to see multiple providers. It's not just your oncologist. These patients typically will have a surgeon, an oncologist, a radiation oncologist. They receive imaging services. They're in and out of medical facilities, not only during the acute time during their treatment, but also for years afterwards, up to 5-10 years down the road. They're still seeing many providers. And if you ask anybody if they've been affected by cancer, they're going to say yes.
Well, I found out I had cancer was in February. Matter of fact, it was February the 16th when I came down here. It was a little hectic when I first started it and everything, but after I started taking them and stuff, you know, I got used to it.
There was a day that I was at work that I just could not function, and so I had called my wife and told her that I was going to run up to the medical clinic and get checked out. So once I was there, I found that my hemoglobin was extremely low, so that next Monday morning, they put me in the hospital to try to figure out where, you know, I was losing all the blood. So with that being said, then it was later that week that I was diagnosed with colon cancer.
About 3.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 appendiceal cancer, and I had surgery in Houston, Texas, and I didn't do chemo or anything. So 2.5 years later, my cancer markers went up, and then they sent me here because, you know, it's closer. So I started doing chemo here, and I got down to like 72 pounds, I think, during the time that they were trying to figure out what it was.
A little over 2 years ago, my husband started getting sick, having pain in his upper right side of his abdomen, and they couldn't discover what it was until about November of, I guess that was 2016. And when they found out what it was, we discovered that it was stage 4 metastatic cholangiocarcinoma.
When I first came, I didn't have no health care, no Medicaid or nothing like that. And like I said, when we met Miss Jamie, it seemed like she just was an angel that fell out of the sky.
Shortly after I was diagnosed with colon cancer, I had a few unexpected medical expenses to pop up. So I was kind of given some insight about the assistance program. It took a lot of stress off of us, knowing that it was going to be something that was going to be taken care of for us.
Right before I got sick the second time, he got neck pain really bad, and he had to quit his job. And right after he quit his job is when I got sick. So, you know, I was bedridden for like 5 months. So it was good that he was home with the neck pain and everything. And of course he lost his insurance. So we were like, well, what do we do? We came here, they sent us here, and they were like, well, we have a charity program. And that kept us going for a few months until he could get some insurance. So I'm really grateful for that.
When Cindy came in to the front desk, I won't forget this, because she handed me this paper, and it was to get this medication that he needed. And I just emotionally, this wave just came over me, and I lost it. I mean, I was just a blubbering, you know, idiot, and I couldn't even form my words just to say thank you. It just was such a huge burden lifted off of both of our shoulders.
Having had a family member at a young age with cancer, we traveled a long ways for treatment, and a lot of our patients do too. So it's not uncommon for a patient to have to drive over 2 hours to receive their cancer treatment. And you can imagine doing that once a week, but what if you're having to do it 5 days a week? So it impacts not only the patient, but their family members. The Assistance Fund allows us to provide that support that they need in any way that we see fit.
It just helps get that one extra thing off of your plate. Just relieved so much extra pressure from both of us.
There are obviously a lot of worthy things that you can give money to and ways that you can impact your community. But if you think about, we all know someone who's affected by cancer. This Patient Assistance Fund is a way to positively affect people who are dealing with this and kind of show them that we're joined with them in the fight against the cancer.
And if you have anything in your pocket that you can bless the organization with, please do.
I feel that it's important that we still give to these type programs, because every day somebody's going to be diagnosed with cancer who's going to have a lot worse financial situations than maybe that I was in.
I would just say, if you're looking for somewhere to put your money that's going to make a difference in somebody's life, in several people's lives, within a family unit, you know, this is where you need to do it, because once cancer strikes a family, it not only affects the individual, but it affects their entire family. And then a family has to figure out how to survive. And there's no better way to help that family than to put your money towards a program that can help offset the medical expenses and transportation and the costs, you know, involved in dealing with cancer.
This is kind of like a life or death situation. You know, it's not something that they want, it's something they need. And it's a situation that I could never imagine being in. You know, I knew people that had cancer, but until I experienced it, I just didn't know how horrible it was, the pain and the stress and just not even being able to function in life. So this is like a life or death situation here, and people have children they have to take care of, they have spouses, they have family members that just, you know, can't live without them. I mean, you're saving a life by giving to this, and that just means everything to me after experiencing it especially.